Sealing technique, phantom dragons. 9 consuming seals, the sealing technique, phantom dragons. 9 consuming seals is one of the most powerful and complex sealing jutsu in the ninja world. This technique was developed with the primary purpose of capturing and sealing the tailed beasts, the most fearsome creatures in the shinobi universe. At its core, this is a ritualistic sealing technique that requires close coordination between multiple powerful ninja. During the process, Pain, the leader of the Akatsuki, summons the demonic statue of the outer path. Each Akatsuki member stands on one of the statue's fingers, corresponding to the special ring they wear. When the ritual begins, 9 ghostly chakra dragons emerge from the statue's mouth, surrounding the jinchūriki, or the tailed beast itself if it is unsealed. This process is excruciatingly painful for the jinchūriki, as the dragons slowly extract the tailed beast from their body. With all 9 Akatsuki members participating, the process takes 3 continuous days to complete. According to Zetsu, another Akatsuki member, if fewer people are involved, the process will take significantly longer. Once finished, the tailed beast is sealed within the statue, and one of its 9 eyes opens, marking the success of the ritual. However, the cost is the jinchūriki's life, as they cannot survive the separation from their tailed beast. Adamantine sealing chains. The adamantine sealing chains is one of the most powerful and secretive techniques of the Uzumaki clan. Renowned for their mastery of sealing techniques, the Uzumaki clan stands unmatched by any other family or nation in this field. The adamantine sealing chains is a special technique taught to all clan members, showcasing the unparalleled expertise of the Uzumaki in sealing arts. This technique allows the user to create massive chakra chains from their body, which can spread out in all directions. These chains are capable of completely restraining and immobilizing their target. Their durability surpasses anything else, to the point where even tailed beasts, creatures with immense and terrifying power, cannot break free. What's more, the chains have the unique ability to suppress chakra, making their user an ideal candidate to become a jinchūriki. The chains can also be woven together to form an impenetrable barrier for defense. Kushina Uzumaki once used this technique to confine the 9 tails within a specific area, even when the beast still possessed both its yin and yang chakra. Kushina, with her extraordinary vitality and ability to wield the adamantine sealing chains, was considered the perfect jinchūriki. Throughout her time as the host of the 9 tails, the beast never once escaped her control, as she could subdue it within her own mind using this technique. Before her death, Kushina left a portion of her chakra within her son, Naruto. This chakra later manifested the chains once again when Naruto attempted to tame the 9 tails. In addition to its sealing capabilities, the adamantine sealing chains can be used as a devastating offensive technique. Instead of binding the target, the chains can be directed to attack, destroying anything in their path. Karin, another member of the Uzumaki clan, once awakened this technique to destroy Tobi's massive wooden statue. However, according to Orochimaru, her version was only a fraction of the strength Kushina could achieve. The way Karin awakened this ability remains a mystery. Since it is a secret technique and not a bloodline limit, Karin did not naturally inherit this power at birth. However, if Karin could unlock and use this technique, it suggests that Naruto might also be able to do the same. The Reaper Death Seal. The Reaper Death Seal also originates from the Uzumaki clan. Kushina Uzumaki, the wife of the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze, was a master of sealing techniques and was the one who taught this technique to her husband. It is an extremely dangerous and highly secretive technique, so much so that even Orochimaru, an expert in countless jutsu, was unaware of its existence until it was used by the 3rd Hokage. The mechanism of this jutsu involves the user performing a complex series of hand seals to summon the death god, Shinigami. When summoned, the death god appears behind the user, using its hair to restrain their soul. Initially, only the summoner can see the death god. After the death god chants an incantation and a cursed seal appears on its left arm, it stabs its hand into the summoner's soul. From that moment, the death god's arm can pass through the summoner's body to grab hold of the target's soul. Interestingly, the target can only see the death god when their soul is being seized. In the history of ninjas, there are two notable instances where this technique left a profound impact. The first case was when Minato Namikaze used it to save the Hidden Leaf village from the Nine-Tails, Kurama. He separated Kurama's yin and yang chakra, sealing the yang half into his newborn son, Naruto, while taking the yin half with him into the afterlife. The second case occurred during the battle between the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, and his former student, Orochimaru. Despite his old age, Hiruzen fought valiantly and ultimately decided to use the Reaper Death Seal. By combining the technique with his Shadow Clone Jutsu, he managed to seal multiple souls simultaneously, including those of the first and second Hokage. Although he was unable to seal Orochimaru completely, he succeeded in sealing Orochimaru's arms, rendering him unable to perform jutsu, and condemning him to constant, unbearable pain. Later on, Orochimaru discovered a way to release the souls trapped by the Reaper Death Seal through a technique called Dead Demon Consuming Seal, release. However, the price for performing this jutsu is extremely high, as the user must cut open their own stomach, which can lead to their death. Orochimaru cleverly avoided this fate by quickly transferring his consciousness into a new body before dying. Overall, many consider this to be the most powerful sealing technique in the series. Since the user must sacrifice their own life to activate it, the jutsu is classified as a forbidden technique. The Totsuka Sword. The Totsuka Sword is a mystical and powerful weapon in the world of Naruto. Essentially, it is a supernatural artifact with a sword blade that appears from a sake bottle. What makes this sword special is that it is enchanted with an extremely powerful sealing technique. When an opponent is stabbed by the Totsuka, their soul is sucked into the sake bottle and trapped forever in a beautiful, dreamlike illusion world, similar to a jinjutsu. It was used to completely remove Sasuke Uchiha's cursed seal of heaven from his body when Itachi pulled Orochimaru out of his younger brother's body and sealed him into the sake bottle. Additionally, Itachi used the sword to separate Nagato's soul from his body, after Kabuto used the impure world reincarnation to control him. Itachi told Nagato that he would seal him once and for all. This means that the victim would be trapped forever in the illusion world, with no chance of escape. Before being completely sealed, Nagato said he would go to the place where Jiraiya was waiting, though it's uncertain whether he was telling the truth. The Totsuka sword can cut through almost any material, just like a regular sword. This was clearly demonstrated when Itachi easily severed 7 of the 8 heads of Orochimaru's giant snake form. The power and uniqueness of the Totsuka sword make it a weapon that many desire. According to Zetsu, Orochimaru spent his entire life searching for this sword, but it ended up in Itachi's hands. The Desert Layered Imperial Funeral Seal. The Desert Layered Imperial Funeral Seal is Gaara sealing technique. He used this powerful jutsu to seal the second Mizukage, an incredibly strong opponent, during the Fourth Great Ninja War. In terms of how it works, this technique begins with the user manipulating a large amount of sand to surround the target. This process doesn't happen instantly, but is carried out in multiple consecutive layers, creating a complex and difficult-to-escape structure. Each layer of sand is stacked not only to imprison the target, but also to prevent any attempts to break out from within. These layers are compressed to form a massive pyramid. This structure is one of the sturdiest architectural designs, capable of distributing pressure and maintaining stability for an extended period. Once the pyramid is complete, it becomes an impenetrable prison designed to hold even the most powerful opponents. The 8 trigrams sealing style. The 8 trigrams sealing style is one of the most iconic sealing techniques in the Naruto world. Technically, the 8 trigrams sealing style is built upon the foundation of the 4-symbol seal. The 4-symbol seal allows the user to trap a target, be it an enemy or a tailed beast, within an object or another person. This is the seal that appeared on Minato's stomach when he sealed half of the 9 tails into himself. When 2 4-symbol seals are placed on top of each other, they form a much stronger barrier, known as the 8 trigram sealing style. This is the very seal seen on Naruto's stomach. During the night of the Nine-Tails attack on the Hidden Leaf Village, despite being severely injured, Minato created two overlapping four-symbol seals, forming the 8 trigrams sealing style, to contain Kurama's massive chakra within his newborn son, Naruto Uzumaki. Minato intentionally left the seals slightly misaligned, allowing a portion of Kurama's chakra to mix with Naruto's own. This gave Naruto accelerated healing abilities and access to the tailed beast's power when needed. On Naruto's body, the 8 trigram seal appears as a circular pattern on his stomach, becoming more visible when he begins using Kurama's chakra. However, overusing the tailed beast's energy could gradually corrupt Naruto's mind and body. Anticipating this, Minato sealed a portion of his and Kushina's chakra into the seal as a safeguard, enabling their spirits to appear and reinforce the seal during critical moments. Another crucial aspect of this sealing technique is the key to the seal, which was inscribed on the scroll toad Jirodora and entrusted to Jiraiya, Naruto's godfather. This tool has the ability to completely remove or strengthen the power of the seal. Instead of reinforcing it, Jiraiya used the key to weaken a part of the 8 trigram seal, allowing Naruto greater access to Kurama's chakra during his training. The 5 Elements Seal. Naruto used Kurama's chakra during his encounter with Orochimaru in the Forest of Death during the Chunin exams. At that moment, the 8 trigram seal on his stomach became clearly visible. Orochimaru focused his chakra into the 5 fingers of one hand and forcefully pressed them against Naruto's seal. When the 5-element seal, an odd-numbered seal, was applied over the 4-symbol seal, an even-numbered seal, it caused a disruption due to the imbalance between odd and even numbers. In Naruto Uzumaki's case, the 5-element seal disrupted the flow of his chakra, preventing him from accessing Kurama's chakra and making it difficult for him to use his own chakra effectively. When the seal was first applied, Naruto immediately lost consciousness. Later, Jiraiya removed the 5-element seal from Naruto, restoring the balance and allowing him to use his chakra more freely. The Evil Sealing Method. The Evil Sealing Method, similar to Orochimaru's 5-element seal, is a sealing technique that Kakashi used to suppress the cursed seal of heaven on Sasuke. However, instead of disrupting and unbalancing the chakra flow like the 5-element seal, Kakashi's sealing method is meant to control and suppress the cursed seal, preventing its power from spreading and affecting Sasuke. When performing the Evil Sealing Method, Kakashi had to write long lines of symbols using his own blood, extending from the cursed seal to the surrounding area. Once the technique was completed and activated, the symbols would converge and surround the cursed seal, with the blood acting like chains that prevent the curse's power from spreading. Applying the Evil Sealing Method is quite painful, and the recipient can lose consciousness after receiving it. The Evil Sealing Method can only suppress the cursed seal, not remove it. Its effectiveness also depends on the will of the recipient. If the recipient wants it to work, this method will resist the seal's effects as much as possible. However, if the user wants the cursed seal to be activated, the evil sealing will be unable to stop it. For this reason, after Kakashi Hatake suppressed Sasuke Uchiha's cursed seal of heaven, Kakashi worked hard to train Sasuke so that he would not be tempted by the seal's power, especially by teaching him the Chidori technique. However, this was not enough, and Sasuke willingly accepted the influence of the cursed seal of heaven. In the years that followed, the evil seal remained on Sasuke, but it no longer worked because Sasuke no longer needed it. When the cursed seal of heaven was finally removed, the evil seal on Sasuke's body was also removed. The Fire Sealing Method. The Fire Sealing Method is a rather unique ability that allows the user to attract and capture nearby fire release techniques into an empty space within a sealing scroll. This is the technique Jiraiya once used. It has the ability to seal away any kind of fire, and the flames remain in their original state until the user decides to release the seal, allowing the fire to be unleashed once again. In general, fire release techniques in Naruto are relatively easy to counter. However, Amaterasu is an exception. Its flames cannot be extinguished by water or any other means and will burn indefinitely. Because of this, Jiraiya, when faced with Itachi's Amaterasu flames, used this technique to seal them away. There is also another technique with a similar concept, but it is used by Sai. The sealing technique, Tiger Vision Staring Bullet. The sealing technique, Tiger Vision Staring Bullet, is a highly specialized jutsu that requires intense focus and exceptional drawing skills. Sai used this technique during the Fourth Great Ninja War to trap one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist within his artwork. The user begins by drawing a giant tiger, and once completed, the illustration comes to life, leaping out of the scroll. While still connected to the scroll, the tiger captures its target with its claws and teeth, then pulls the victim back into the scroll, trapping them within the confines of the drawing. Due to the enormous size of the illustration, the user requires a significant amount of time to complete the drawing. During this period, they must be protected, as their full attention is devoted to the task. In the anime, Danzo remarked that to make this technique more powerful, Sai needed to harness his emotions. If the user is overwhelmed by negative emotions, their eyes turn black, their pupils become red, and a dark substance seeps from their eyes and mouth. Initially, Sai struggled to control this effect due to his training in Root, but after witnessing Rock Lee's determination to protect his comrades and recalling his time with Team Kakashi, he managed to overcome it. I suddenly remembered a very special sealing technique. It's not used by the user, nor is it meant to imprison or hold something, and that is the 3 jewels suction crushing technique. This technique is a display of puppets 6, 7, and 8 from the Chikamatsu collection, controlled by Chiyo. These 3 puppets form a triangular formation, and by activating mechanisms marked with Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, they trigger this technique. A terrifying whirlwind erupts, sucking the targets into the center of the formation. Everything sucked into the center is crushed completely with tremendous force, and then blasted out from the back. This technique is used to destroy and eliminate enemies. When evaluating this technique, it can be seen as a highly effective tool in battles, especially when facing multiple opponents at once. However, its weakness lies in the possibility of the suction force being overloaded, making the puppets vulnerable to attacks. We've seen this technique be destroyed when Sasori's overwhelming number of puppets attacked. Dark Sealing Method. The Dark Sealing Method is one of the mysterious barrier ninjutsu introduced in the early part of the Naruto series. We witnessed the power of this jutsu when Sasuke Uchiha decided to leave the Hidden Leaf Village to follow the Sound Four, loyal servants of Orochimaru. This technique played a crucial role in upgrading Sasuke's cursed seal of heaven to its 2nd level. It was intricately coordinated with another formation technique, the 4 Black Fog formation. The Sound Four combined their efforts to create a thick black mist that enveloped Sasuke, isolating him from everything, including death itself. Sakon, a member of the Sound Four, was the one who carried out the ritual involving the Dark Sealing Method. Using his own blood, he inscribed complex sealing formulas onto 5 talismans, which were then placed around the perimeter of what we could call Sasuke's coffin. The Dark Sealing Method created a space completely cut off from the outside world. This sealing barrier wasn't a physical wall, but a powerful chakra shield capable of even blocking the vision of the Byakugan, one of the most formidable dojutsu in the ninja world. The Byakugan was unable to penetrate and observe what was happening inside the barrier. Overall, this is not a particularly high-level barrier technique, and its scale is relatively small. However, its ability to block the Byakugan's sight is genuinely rare, and something very few techniques can achieve. 4 Violet Flames Formation. The 4 Violet Flames Formation is another barrier ninjutsu performed by the Sound Four. This technique is executed by 4 ninjas positioned at the 4 corners of a rectangle, creating an energy barrier in the shape of a perfect cube. The barrier consists of violet flames, a highly destructive form of energy capable of instantly incinerating anything or anyone that comes into contact with it. This makes it highly effective at preventing any attempts to breach or escape the protected area. Tactically, this technique has a significant weakness. It requires all 4 ninja to continuously channel their chakra to maintain the barrier. If even one of them is attacked or loses focus, the entire defensive system collapses. To address this vulnerability, when the Sound Four used the technique to isolate Orochimaru and the third Hokage, they created additional barriers around each member. These auxiliary barriers protected the casters and made it much harder to break the barrier from within. The 4 violet flames formation reappeared during the Fourth Great Ninja War, utilized by members of the First Division. They used this jutsu to confine Dan, preventing him from using the spirit transformation technique to harm allied shinobi forces. Unlike the Sound Four, the First Division ninjas stood outside the barrier rather than inside the square. This adjustment prevented Dan from targeting them directly. Overall, the 4 violet flames formation is a jutsu with a high level of control. Despite its structural weakness, relying on the stability of all 4 casters, it remains an extremely effective technique for containment. Earth Dome Prison. The Earth Dome Prison is another barrier technique used by the Sound Four, specifically by Jirobo. This jutsu works by creating a dome made of earth that surrounds the target. What makes it unique is the continuous flow of chakra within the walls, which acts as a self-repair mechanism, quickly fixing any damage caused by those trapped inside. This feature makes it extremely difficult for regular ninja to escape by simply breaking the structure. Even more frightening is the prison's ability to absorb the chakra of those it confines. This not only weakens the enemies, but also serves as a way for the user to recover and enhance their own strength. Jirobo particularly favored this technique because it allowed him to simultaneously control his opponents and benefit from their chakra. However, like all jutsu, the Earth Dome Prison has its weaknesses. The chakra within the walls is not evenly distributed, with the thinnest part located directly opposite where Jirobo stands. This is a significant tactical flaw. Fortunately for the Sasuke retrieval team, they had sharp minds like Shikamaru and skilled ninja like Neji, who were able to identify this weakness and successfully break through the prison. Overall, the Earth Dome Prison is a low-level barrier jutsu that is ineffective against powerful ninja. However, its combination of defense and offense posed a real challenge for Shikamaru's team at the time. Ice Release, Ice Rock Dome. The Ice Release, Ice Rock Dome is a jutsu showcased by Haku during the Fourth Great Ninja War. Essentially, Haku quickly manipulates and freezes the surrounding air to create a transparent ice dome resembling an igloo. This unique ice structure is strong enough to withstand intense attacks, such as multiple explosive tags detonating at once, without sustaining any damage. Haku used this technique to protect both himself and Zabuza, although it wasn't entirely necessary for their survival. The range and resilience of this jutsu suggests that the Ice Rock Dome has the potential to be an effective tool for shielding teammates in combat scenarios. In fact, Haku had previously used a somewhat similar technique during his confrontation with Team Kakashi. That technique, known as demonic mirroring ice crystals, demonstrates a higher level of ice control, allowing Haku to create multiple large ice mirrors that encircle the target, forming a deadly ice prison. The mechanism of demonic mirroring ice crystals differs slightly from the Ice Rock Dome. Firstly, it does not form a completely enclosed barrier. Secondly, it is not used for defense, but rather to isolate and eliminate opponents. Using this jutsu, Haku traps Sasuke inside the mirror formation. By entering one of the mirrors, Haku's reflection appeared simultaneously in all the others. From this position, he launched relentless attacks, usually with high-speed senbon needles, creating the impression of strikes coming from every direction at once. Haku's ice is immune to standard fire-style techniques, making it highly effective for containment and resisting moderately powerful attacks. Sensing Barrier. The sensing barrier is a sophisticated defensive and surveillance jutsu, taking the form of a massive invisible sphere that covers the designated area, both above ground and underground. The Hidden Leaf Village used this technique to monitor those entering and exiting the village. One of the remarkable aspects of this barrier is its invisibility to the naked eye, making it a secretive protective layer that is difficult for enemies to detect or counter. This jutsu is often combined with the sensing water sphere, creating a comprehensive surveillance system capable of detecting and pinpointing any unauthorized intrusion into or out of the protected area. Together, they enhance the village's ability to secure its borders effectively. Overall, the sensing barrier exemplifies the evolution of defensive jutsu, transitioning from simple protection to integrated surveillance, making it suitable for safeguarding critical locations. However, despite its seemingly advanced capabilities, it has proven to be rather ineffective in the series. For instance, Itachi was able to bypass the Hidden Leaf's sensing barrier undetected due to his prior knowledge of the system from his time in the Leaf's Anbu. Using the sensing barrier pass technique, he slipped into the village unnoticed. Alongside him, Kisame also managed to infiltrate the village, guided by Itachi's expertise. Despite the barrier's purpose to protect the village from foreign ninja and criminal organizations, this duo entered and exited as if the barrier didn't exist. As for Pain, the Six Paths essentially stormed into the Hidden Leaf Village without much concern for the barrier. Pain's overwhelming power rendered the relatively passive system of the sensing barrier utterly ineffective. Self-repairing barrier. The self-repairing barrier is an excellent example of the power of cooperation ninjutsu, where the combined chakra of multiple ninja creates a unique self-repairing defense system. This technique is the one used to protect the entire Turtle Island. The barrier continuously repairs any damage by drawing from the constant flow of chakra provided by the individuals performing the jutsu. In terms of scale and strength, this technique allows users to establish dozens of overlapping layers of barriers, forming an extremely robust multi-layered defense system. These barriers are specifically designed to restrain and contain any jinchūriki, hosts of tailed beasts with immense power. The durability of the barrier was proven when it withstood a direct tailed beast ball attack from Killer Bee, with only a few of its layers being destroyed. However, the technique has its limits when faced with the combined strength of multiple jinchūriki. This was demonstrated when Naruto Uzumaki, in his Nine Tails Chakra mode, and Killer Bee completely broke through the barrier system. This highlights the fact that the self-repairing barrier cannot withstand the combined might of two jinchūriki. A unique feature of this technique is its ability to conceal chakra, preventing any attempts to sense what is happening inside the barrier using conventional methods. This made it a perfect tool for hiding the Nine Tails and Eight Tails. Overall, while not the most powerful, the self-repairing barrier is a relatively well-rounded and effective barrier technique. Uchiha Flame Formation. The Uchiha Flame Formation is one of the most impressive and notable defensive techniques of the Uchiha clan. In terms of mechanics, the user must concentrate chakra into each fingertip to create small, unique flames, and then slam their hands onto the ground to activate the technique. Once activated, this technique forms a fiery barrier that provides shielding and protection. What sets this defense apart is its dual functionality. It not only acts as a protective barrier, but also has a passive offensive capability, burning any opponent who dares to come into contact with it. In combat, The effectiveness of the Uchiha flame formation is undeniable. It was able to withstand and repel an attack from the Eight Tails, one of the most powerful tailed beasts in the Naruto world. This demonstrates the durability and defensive strength of the technique. When used by a skilled ninja like Obito Uchiha, the technique becomes even more formidable when combined with other strategies. However, like all techniques in the ninja world, the Uchiha flame formation has its weaknesses. Opponents with space-time ninjutsu or long-range attacks may find ways to bypass or break the barrier. Overall, the Uchiha flame formation is a defensive technique that embodies the Uchiha clan's mastery of fire-based techniques and showcases its practical effectiveness in battle. Adamantine sealing chains. The Adamantine sealing chains is one of the most iconic and powerful jutsu of the Uzumaki clan. This technique allows the user to create chains made from their own chakra, typically emerging from the chest or back. These chains can be controlled with remarkable flexibility, extending or retracting as needed, and are primarily used to restrain and subdue opponents. The true strength of the adamantine sealing chains lies in their extraordinary durability. These chains are so resilient that even the Nine Tails, Kurama, with its immense destructive power, cannot break free. While the technique is mainly used for sealing, its versatility extends beyond just restraining the tailed beast. The chains can also form an almost impenetrable barrier. A prime example is Kushina Uzumaki, who wove the chains together to create a barrier that prevented Kurama from escaping and causing havoc. This barrier was so formidable that even the third Hokage could not penetrate it, allowing Kushina and her husband to fight alone to protect everyone else. During the fourth Hokage and Kushina's battle with the Nine Tails, even when Kurama was in its full form with both its yin and yang halves, the beast was unable to break free from the restraint of these chakra chains or escape Kushina's chakra barrier. Typically, a jinchūriki dies immediately after having their tailed beast extracted, as seen in Naruto's case, where losing even half of Kurama's chakra left him on the brink of death. However, Kushina, despite having just gone through childbirth and losing all of Kurama, was still able to muster the strength to control the beast and fight valiantly for a time before her death. The adamantine sealing chains stand as one of the most powerful sealing and barrier jutsu ever seen in the ninja world. It is a technique that truly embodies the legacy of the Uzumaki clan, renowned as the masters of sealing techniques. 4 Red Yang Formation. The 4 Red Yang Formation is one of the most advanced sealing techniques in the Naruto world. Classified as an A-rank jutsu, it can only be performed by ninja of Kage-level skill. Its strength and complexity are evident in the requirement of 4 Kage-level ninja working together simultaneously, making it a technique far beyond the reach of ordinary shinobi. This technique creates an enormous red energy barrier. To activate and maintain it, 4 ninja must position themselves at the 4 corners of a square, forming a complete formation. The size of the barrier is immense, capable of containing the 10 Tails, a creature whose size and power surpass all other tailed beasts in the ninja world. In terms of effectiveness and strength, the 4 Red Yang Formation surpasses similar techniques like the 4 Violet Flames Formation. Its most remarkable feature is its incredible resilience. When faced with powerful attacks such as the 10 Tails tailed beast ball, the barrier doesn't break, but instead deforms to absorb and redirect the force of the attack upward. It then restores itself to its original shape without sustaining any damage, showcasing its outstanding stability and durability. The 4 Red Yang Formation was used during the 4th Great Ninja War, when the 4 previous Hokage of the Hidden Leaf, Hashirama Senju, Tobirama Senju, Hiruzen Sarutobi, and Minato Namikaze, combined their efforts to restrain the 10 Tails. The fact that these legendary ninja had to work together to perform the technique further emphasizes its complexity and power. The four red yang formation is undoubtedly one of the most formidable sealing jutsu ever seen in the series. Kamui. Kamui is one of the most unique and powerful barrier ninjutsu techniques in the Naruto world, demonstrating an advanced level of space-time manipulation. While it might seem unusual to classify it as a barrier technique, this categorization is entirely fitting. Kamui doesn't create a visible wall like conventional barrier jutsu. Instead, it generates and controls a separate dimension completely disconnected from the real world. Only those with the Mangekyo Sharingan imbued with Kamui's power can access this dimension. This exclusivity provides an absolute layer of protection, since no other ninjutsu or dojutsu can penetrate Kamui's dimension without the user's consent. Kamui is incredibly versatile in battle. Obito frequently used this technique to shift parts of his body, or his entire self, into the Kamui dimension, allowing him to avoid attacks and creating a nearly flawless defense. Additionally, Kamui can trap opponents in its separate space, isolating them completely with no means of escape unless they possess the same Kamui ability. Kakashi famously used Kamui to sever and transport Deidara's arm, essentially imprisoning it in another dimension. Once something is transported into the Kamui dimension, it vanishes entirely from the perception of the outside world. No chakra detection technique, no matter how advanced, can locate or sense anything hidden within this space. This makes Kamui an ideal tool for concealing and secretly transporting objects or individuals. The ability to create and control a separate dimension, combined with the invulnerability of that space, elevates Kamui far beyond the scope of ordinary barrier techniques. Apart from Kamui, there is another space-time technique with a similar mechanism called Sasuke's space-time dojutsu. Sasuke's space-time dojutsu, used by Sasuke Uchiha with his Rinnegan, allows him to create portals to move between different dimensions. This technique enables Sasuke to move quickly and gain a significant tactical advantage. He can use it without the need for assistance from others, and it does not put serious strain on his body, only causing brief fatigue. This shows the refinement and superior effectiveness of this technique compared to Kamui. So, do you think Sasuke's space-time dojutsu can be considered a barrier technique? Please comment your opinion below. 6 Red Yang Formation. The 6 Red Yang Formation is the highest level barrier technique in the Naruto world, surpassing even the 4 Red Yang Formation in both scale and durability. It can only be used by those who have been granted 6 Paths power, showcasing the extraordinary nature of this jutsu within the ninjutsu system. The process of executing this technique is most clearly demonstrated by Obito Uchiha. When activating the jutsu, the truth-seeking ball behind his right hand is covered in red chakra, resembling flames. From there, Obito releases 6 black pillars, each surrounded by a similar red chakra layer. These pillars drive into the ground at 6 points and become the sources for creating a massive red barrier. In terms of defense, the 6 Red Yang Formation displays high-level elasticity, similar to its smaller counterpart. This is proven by its ability to withstand explosions from 4 massive tailed beast balls created by the power of the 10 tails. Instead of breaking, the barrier is able to disperse the attacking force into the sky. One notable advantage of this technique is its user control flexibility. First, this jutsu can be performed by a single person. Second, the user can freely activate or deactivate the barrier at will. This feature provides a high level of strategic potential in battle, allowing the user to adapt extremely well to changing conditions on the battlefield. Overall, this is considered the strongest barrier technique ever seen in Naruto, as it is created by the power of the 6 paths. Alright, that's all for this episode. If you want me to make a video about any other anime or a specific character, just leave a comment below.